Story time, ladies and gents. Yep, I finished this book a little bit early. The one that I said that I was reading, I finished it a little bit early. I said it was going to take about a month, and it didn't. And I'll get into why as we go through this review. This review is going to be a little bit long because I'm going to go through a lot of stuff that's in this book so you can make a nice informed decision about buying it if you'd like. So, first of all, let's start with the title and the ISBN number, so if you are interested in buying it, you can do so. Okay, the book I'm reviewing today for our story time is an American legend, Zippo, a collector companion. The author on this is Avi R. Baer, that's B-A-E-R, and apparently there's another author of Alexander Newmark, N-E-U-M-A-R-K. This is what the cover looks like. It is a hardcover book, and it has a dust jacket on it that I took off when I'm reading because those things are the devil's work. And the ISBN number is 076240700-X. So you can type that in something maybe like half.com if they have it there, or I got this on Amazon for about $7. The suggested retail price is $25. Yeah, I'm not going to pay $25 for this. So, if you watch my little teaser about the books that I was going to be reviewing that I made less than a month ago, you'll notice that I was very excited about this book because it had a lot of good information in it. And it does, and I have a whole list of notes here that I'm going to go through, some very interesting facts, some teasers about what you can expect to find in this book. But I also encountered a big problem with this book as I was reading it, and I will discuss that as well. And let's go ahead and start with some of the notes that I have down on here. Okay, so it's a hardcover book. The page count is just under 200 pages, 192 pages. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit. 192 pages, and it's a good read for a good portion, but that also is where the problem comes. This book has a certain number of chapters in it. It has 17 chapters of bibliography and an index, but around, let's see here, around chapter 11 to chapter 12, the book turns into a complete picture book. It seems that the first 10 or so chapters, 10 or 11 chapters, are very well thought out, some excellent information that I did not know, and maybe you all did, maybe it's common knowledge, but again, I don't claim to be a Zippo historian expert. I like to know a lot about a little about a lot of different things about Zippos. Anyway, excellent information, first 10 chapters. The last chapters are these last chapters consist of about a third of the book. The last chapters consist pretty much of taking a bunch of facts, throwing them at a ceiling fan, and seeing what gets splattered on the walls. And I will tell you a little bit about that, but first let's just discuss the good parts. The first 10 chapters. I'm going to just pick out some random pages in here. I have quite a bit of notes that I'll go through, at least a couple of them. I don't know if I'll go through all of them, but let's see what I mentioned in my little preview here. Okay, page 17. Here's one that I like to start out with. Page 17. Okay. Over here, there is a nice advertisement about how one of the very early Zippo advertisements. You can see one of the 1933 Zippos there. I believe that's what that is. And it says on there, it advertised that Zippo says you get a 10-day fuel supply with your Zippos. And I think that is a very good estimate. When I use mine a lot, it goes down a little. When I don't, it goes up a little bit more. But 10 is about what you can expect from a Zippo. So in case you're wondering, that's about how long you're going to get out of a Zippo. But one of the problems with the book is noted right there. Okay, on page 17, well, not really the book. I guess maybe Zippo advertising, perhaps. But page 17, if I look at page 116, notice how I said 10-day fuel supply there? 116. Right here, in one of the advertisements, it is in one of these two. I can't read them right now, but it's either in this baseball one or this other very old advertisement there with the prices, $2.50 and such, that is a 21-day fuel supply. So that's more of Zippo's fault than the book's, though. That's not a problem what I majorly have with the book. You know, they didn't really do their fact checking. But a little discrepancy in the advertisement there. So moving down the list, let's see here, 23. Page 23. Apparently there was something interesting I saw there. Page 23. Ha! Well, a Zippo limerick. You see this indented text up here indicating that it's some sort of poem or something. Let me read you this Zippo limerick, and you can dance on St. Patrick's Day to this fine gem. Okay, I'm going to take this book cover off. Like I said, they're the devil. It's coming off. Can't stand it. It's one of these things, if you ever get the hardcovers with the dust jacket book covers, take them off. They're more trouble than they're worth. So back up to 23 here. Got to go a little bit fast. I know it's kind of going to be drawn out because this recording is limited to 15 minutes when you record it here on YouTube itself. Here's the limerick. Ready? There was an old man named Sinclair whose lighter wouldn't work in the air. Then he tried a Zippo and hollered Yippo. Wasn't that great? Didn't that just make your day right there? I'll bet it did. But on page 24, which was one page after this, I guess this is some of the early years. This chapter is about some of the early years of Zippos. One of the things that I thought was really cool is what they had here, right here. Right there. That is a Zippo punch board. If you've ever seen The Price is Right, where they have that punch board game where you punch out the numbers and that's how much money you get, they used to have those punch boards that they used to give away free Zippos. Now that is the kind of advertising I like. They used to be in bars where you could punch out numbers and get free Zippos. Really interesting stuff that I learned from this book. On page 28 is something else that I thought was really cool, but it probably wouldn't be politically correct today because we're a bunch of idiots here in this country when it comes to political correctness. On page 28, you'll learn about cool things like this. The Zippo, what that is right there is a Zippo fuel dispenser. This would be on the tables of drugstores or bars, and you could put in 1 cent, and you pull the handle, and you would get exactly 1 dose of Zippo fuel for your lighter. That's cool. That is cool, but that wouldn't be politically correct for today because it would be about smoking. Let's see, page 32 here. Why did I have this? Again, just going through showing you some pretty interesting things that you can expect to see if you decide to get this book. You'll notice this is all those damaged Zippos that I have if you watch my Zippo Case Visitor Center slideshow. These are those same Zippos. The dump truck bed, the ball and socket crane, the pallet trim shredder, all stuff like that, all of course repaired for free by Zippo, and you can see these actual lighters in person if you go to the Zippo Case Visitor Center. And I have those pictures in my slideshow there. Check it out. I thought it was cool that they were in here. Alright, take a look, page 35. It details the entire repair process of what Zippo does when they receive your lighters, how they unbox them, what they do with the letters, if they keep the letters, how they weld new hinges on, how everyone gets a new insert. Interesting stuff to read if you're into that stuff. Of course you are because you're reading a book about Zippos. All right. And on page 36, it mentions the sheer number of just thank you notes that Zippo gets for repairing lighters, and it's something like hundreds of thousands of pounds of weight of mail go every year into Bradford, Pennsylvania's post office just for Zippo, just for thank you letters. That's pretty interesting. And let's see here, page 40 and 41. Here, another thing I like about this book, really, like I said, I've showed you some really interesting pictures, some interesting facts. They have the original Zippo patent, what was actually written on the patent for the original Zippo, like the actual wording, like the scientific wording of what a patent is. You see the actual patent, and the entire anatomy of a Zippo, which I have a video about the anatomy of a Zippo here, but it shows you the rayon balls, the wick, the flint wheel, the insert, all that cool stuff. Very interesting to look at. Again, all pluses here. And as I'm kind of running around the 10-minute mark here, basically, that's the pros. That's the pros for this book. There are a lot of interesting facts and diagrams. Good. That's the good part of this book. The bad part of this book is, like I said, it cuts off abruptly at a chapter, and it goes into being a picture book. Let's see if I can find the exact cutoff spot. Going through, bear with me here. Oh, right here. So I guess it's even more about Chapter 10. Right here, when you get your Chapter 10, it says Zippo military lighters after Vietnam. And then there's about 1 page of text, 2 pages of text. Oh, yeah, no, here's Chapter 11. Okay, once you hit Chapter 11, all you have for this about last third of the book is pictures and a very small amount of text. Like boring stuff, almost, because you're just looking at solid pictures with really no information, pictures that you could just find online. Like, for example, here is the Zippo Case Visitor Center with some pictures that you've seen me standing in front of that American flag there at the Zippo Case Visitor Center. You can see all these pictures in my slideshow. Now, it's such a jarring transition going from earlier in the book where you have a lot of these facts and information and cool stuff. It's amazing that I opened to that page right there. Good job by me. But where you go from all this interesting information about the history and their use in wars and a lot of information about George Blaisdell to just basically pictures thrown on there in no order whatsoever. You're going in one chapter about let's see, what's this one chapter here? Some random trivia, and then it goes into a date code, like the date codes. And then right after the date codes, it goes into the Case Visitor Center. It's just really, it seems like you threw something at the wall to see what would stick. It's such a jarring transition from the chapter 10 to chapter 11, where it turns into a picture book, that is really bad for the last third of the book. I mean, sure, it's got some cool pictures in there and such, but it stops becoming the good book that it was in the beginning. And there's also some wrong information. Let's see. I know I had a note about some wrong information here. Let me take a look at my notes. Oh yeah, page 101. Let's talk about that. Page 101 here. That's one thing I did notice. This book also gives out some misinformation, so it's not to be taken as 100% fact unless you check your sources. On page 101 here, it says somewhere in there, and it's got a picture of the one of the collectibles of the year there. It says all of the replicas, the way you can tell if a lighter is a replica or not is if it has the patent number on the bottom. The replicas will not have a patent number. That's completely false, because my 1937 replica here has the patent number, or yeah, my 1937 replica here has the patent number on the bottom. So that's completely false. You don't want to go out and, read this book and say, oh yeah, I found a lighter with a patent number on the bottom, so therefore it has to be an actual old Zippo. It's not true, and it says that in plain English on here on one of these pages. Let's see where it says, when the patent on the Zippo lighters expired, Zippo stopped engraving the patent number on the base of their lighter. Therefore, the replicas do not have a patent number, but the originals do. Entirely wrong. So that's, I guess, some of my big problems. I have 3 problems with this book. 1, the jarring transition between the really good informational book to a picture book that's kind of like filler for the last third. Number 2, incorrect information at parts. And number 3, some of the pictures that they used, it seems like they ripped them directly off of a website, and they're very poor resolution. And they use the same pictures over and over. That's how you know that they're bad resolution, because I believe that anatomy of a Zippo lighter appears twice in this book, one at good resolution and one at terrible resolution. So they stick in there as more fillers. It seemed like it really tried to be a filler there at the end. And it didn't work out too well, according to my review at least, but who's going to believe me? So yeah, pick up this book if you really want some good information about Zippos that you may not have heard before. But when you get near the end, you might want to start flipping the pages a little faster, because it kind of goes down the tubes there at the end. So again, it's Zippo, a collector's companion. Here's a book jacket again. And my review on it is definitely got some good information there. Kind of gave up at the end. It's like the kid in high school that needs to write that 7-page research paper, which 7 pages kind of means 5.5, and then we're just sticking in nonsense. We're sticking in the lyrics to REO Speedwagon's Taking on the Run here at the end. So, alright, that's it. Thanks for watching this review, and go out and buy that book if you want, and don't if you don't. Take it easy.